everybody. Welcome back to the Youtini Show, your one-stop shop for all things going on in Star Wars. I'm Eric here with Corey and Wes to talk about all things that happened this week. An upcoming Star Wars book may have just released its title. A new leak has given us a first look at the upcoming Star Wars strategy game. The merch is officially rolling out for May the 4th and Star Wars Celebration. And Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 have arrived in Galaxy's Edge for Season of the Force. But before we get into the news, there are two quick updates I want to give y'all. First of all, if you missed our show last week, we reminded you that Claudia Gray's Into the Light comes out tomorrow, April 1st. No, it's no joke. It's actually the last young adult novel in the High Republic, so make sure to check that out. And secondly, I was lucky enough to be featured in Kevin Scott's newsletter this week, the Cav Letter. I shared what makes up my perfect Sunday, and I got to geek out about some of my favorite things, including A Knight's Tale, Brandon Sanderson, and more. So if you want to see a bit more of me, or if you want to get one of the best author newsletters out there, head over to cavletter.com and subscribe. But to start us off officially, one of the best parts of being a Star Wars fan is the new reveals, and they're always exciting, and even if it's just a new title, they often tell us something about an upcoming project. Well, this week, we just got that thanks to Random House World's website, oddly enough. Ahead of the Star Wars Celebration publishing panel, the book Star Wars Master of Evil has appeared online, with many fans speculating that this could be a new adult novel from author Adam Christopher, who just so happens to be appearing on that panel. Now, we'll get to the speculation about that in a moment, but before we do, Corey, how do you feel about books leaking early like this from time to time? Does it take away from the magic, or does it actually increase the potential hype?
I don't think so. I kind of like it when they leak like this. I think it's kind of fun. I think it gives fans like a reason to visit the Penguin Random House Worlds. And what is this website actually? I guess it's not. Yeah, there's a lot of versions. Website. Yeah, it's the Random House World. Is there still? But there is still a Penguin Random House website. I think.
Penguin Random House is like the umbrella of all of it, and Random House World is like the speculative fiction branch.
That's right. Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't remember what the website was
anymore. Easy to
anyway.
Follow.
Anyway, yes, I think this is fun. I think it gives people a reason to visit this website, because why else would you visit like publisher websites, like unless you're in the industry?
Right.
They're often really hard to navigate, and this one is no different. I used to have to do this back in the day with the Youtini book box days to like scope out books and how you could purchase them and what sizes books were and things like that. And yeah, so I'm down for these types of leaks. I think they're fun.
Yeah, they're really enjoyable. We had one of these recently with Star Wars Sanctuary, that Bad Batch novel, which then, of course, got announced a couple months later, I think. So this looks like someone just had the code word up, probably, and then swapped it right before Celebration. Like I said, I'm putting my money on this being officially announced at the Celebration publishing panel. But let's go with the fact that this is the title. Let's go with the fact, again, it's Adam Christopher's novel, who wrote Shadow of the Sith, Master of Evil. Many people think it might be a Vader book, but what do you guys think? Master of Evil, what does this tell you just on your gut reaction if you see this come across a Star Wars cover?
Doesn't Obi-Wan refer to Darth Vader as?
Yes.
Doesn't he say you're only a master
of evil, Darth?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. When they're fighting in Episode 4, right?
It's got to be it. On it, that's where most people are going. I'm ashamed to say I didn't realize that at first, and I was like, oh, maybe it's like the Plagueis book where he trains Khmer. I don't think that's it. I think it's absolutely the direct quote from A New Hope.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. Like for some reason, like I can just like almost like close my eyes and watch those movies on repeat in my brain in real time.
You do close your eyes and watch those movies, though. You like go to sleep to them all the time.
I haven't done that in a good while. I did it on a work trip a while back though. Futurama wasn't doing it for me, so I put on like Empire and it totally worked. But yeah, I can quote the original trilogy like nobody's business. It's got to be what it's about. So like, what is this book then? Let's speculate then, right? Like, what is this going to be? Is it going to be a Vader book? Like, that prints money. So
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're definitely going Vader. I think that the Vader comic has been going since like 2015. They've showed him after Episode 4, after Episode 5. There's not a lot of him after Episode 6. But spoiler alert, I suppose. I think we'll go between Episodes 3 and 4. Like, Dark Lord of the Sith kind of did that in Legends, right? Lords of the Sith did that way early canon, like briefly. But when I heard about this, I realized we haven't really gotten a Vader book, like an adult Vader novel.
Yeah, definitely not in canon either.
Thrawn Alliances is the closest we got because there were flashbacks, but I think this should just be a good old-fashioned post-Revenge of the Sith. Vader is the main character. We're in his head. He's dealing with the trauma of it all, and like
that has got to be,
you know?
honestly, it has got to be incredibly challenging to write a Vader book. Like, can you imagine trying to pitch a Vader book and be like, listen, I have this great idea. You're never gonna believe it. He's gonna go back.
We've heard it all before, sir. We've heard it all before.
He's like, I'm gonna have Vader is gonna go back to Padme's grave. Nope, Marvel comic.
No, you did a comic, or you did it. Yep,
okay, sorry. I'm gonna have Vader meet Grand Admiral Thrawn. Nope, already in a book.
Yep, already in a book. Okay,
like,
well, what if I guess Tarkin tries to hunt him for sport. Nope, did that too. What the hell? Like,
that's right. Fights Ahsoka. Nope. Star Wars Rebels.
Nope.
Like, seriously, like every single story feels like it's
All right,
been
he's
done
hunting
with
down
Vader.
Order 66 survivors. Nope, Charles Soule, Lord of the Sith.
I want everybody to know like how his armor is put on. Nope, it's already been done. Yeah.
Everything. Literally every detail. It feels like that. So like, we'll see what this is. I'm down for just a Vader is being a badass, killing people. Book. I'm fine for that.
It's like going back to the roots. I mean, they're like, you know what, make money and bring all Star Wars fans back. Yep. Darth Vader is so iconic. Everybody knows about him. Much like a Luke Skywalker book or something. But there's so many books with Luke Skywalker. Something that just centers around Darth Vader. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to pick that up.
Also, the cover, I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to go further on my speculation. Not only it's a Vader book, not only is it written by Adam Christopher, the cover is just the mask. Full cover, black Darth Vader mask. We're like, print the money.
I will.
Darth
I mean, the book will sell like nobody's business. Like, it's almost been like it's almost been a running joke like at Youtini that about the comics, because like it doesn't matter how good or how bad the comics are, they're still like the best selling by such an enormous margin. It's just because it's Vader, man. Like, he's just the most iconic villain. Truly, probably is the most iconic villain of all time.
For sure.
Of any franchise, any storytelling, literally ever. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So the cover is Vader's helmet, but like slightly embossed and raised up a little bit of the helmet.
You know it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then like the exclusive cover from Inkstone has like the it's printed on the book, but it's like unmasked Vader while scarred and stuff, but it's under the dust jacket. Like, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it.
Red pages later on.
Ripped pages. Yeah. But I think like with Adam Christopher writing, if this is his book, which again I'm pretty sure it is, he wrote Shadows of the Sith. After his canceled Mandalorian novel, which we'll always bring up because that was still insane that happened. Wrote a whole book.
Didn't he tag us on Twitter when we had it on the website and like asked us to take down the page? I think he did.
Because it looked like it was like it was coming up
as a
or
something,
and we kept it up as a canceled novel, and it looked.
I don't know
bad for the
I don't know how
or
he.
something.
I don't know how he found it. It was like buried on the site, but yeah, that was funny. Like that, we were like, is this an author tweeting us to tell us
like, oh my God, sorry.
take this down? He hadn't written anything at that point yet, had he?
No, he hadn't Shadow of the Sith yet.
Yeah, right.
It came out later.
Certain point of view stories that he's done, but that was.
I don't think he had done that yet either, did he?
Really?
Yeah, he didn't just or at least one. I think he did the first one.
Yeah,
in the first
if I remember
book.
correctly.
In the first one.
But they did Shadow of the Sith, and Shadow of the Sith was big because if a lot of folks I know read that on the team, but if you haven't read that book is very steeped in like Exegol lore and stuff. Like
it's a solid book.
It's really, really good. It's Luke like with the Wayfinder and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's one of the best, probably like movie tie-in books I think that exists.
Sure.
Yeah, like without a doubt.
Yeah, he did End of Watch for from a certain point of view.
Yes.
The first one,
episode 4. First one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we did all that. I think that honestly, if he's writing a Vader book, he has all of that Exegol lore in his head. I think this is how we really get Vader into Exegol and Palpatine, and like maybe we bring back some like ancient Sith, like he finds some holocrons, talks to like Revan Bane. I think that'd be cool. I think that's the direction this book could go. We've been saying we need a really good Darksider book.
What if
the trilogy? Like this could be it.
What if the story is about like how Vader almost usurped Palpatine? That might be a good story.
I would love that.
That'd be really good. Or he truly takes Palpatine off guard, like catches him off guard, like because he's been talking to Revan, or he's been talking to some old Sith, or he finds some holocrons, or he learns to do something that Palpatine doesn't like expect or something.
All right, hear me out. Gets him drunk and he falls asleep on the couch. Is that Is that original?
It's
Is that
not even
original?
being
I mean,
thought, though.
Is that
That's
original
pretty
thought?
much that is pretty much how Plagueis kills his
Yeah.
master,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's-
or
yeah,
how
it
or
is.
how Star
Palpatine
Sidious
kills
kills
Plagueis.
Plagueis. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think they could. I think they like the title itself obviously is the line, like you said, Corey. But
Mhm.
Master of Evil really it gives a weight to it, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I have become the master of evil. I have overtaken something. I think that shows me he's learning something. I think
Or we're totally wrong. It's nothing to do with Vader at all.
Yeah,
It could be.
also true.
It
Also
could be.
true.
This is a lot of speculation off of one line. This could be a wild
True.
coincidence. It could be something completely different, like Palpatine, Maul book, Darth Maul book. Could be
Yeah.
Darth Maul book.
It could
actually.
be Plagueis
Like,
and Khmer, honestly. Like,
it could be, yeah.
I mean, I
That would be wild misuse of, of an original trilogy quote, but sure. I mean, yeah, we could
but
do
you
it.
know,
I'd read the
think-
shit out of that one too.
Oh, of course, let's be clear. Like, having a dark side focused book though is so exciting because the Acolyte was going to be like the dark side show. And
Right.
it had a lot of stuff and it set up so much and showed that they were willing to go in that direction. And then of course the budget was way too overblown and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've talked ad nauseum about that show. But like if Star Wars is realizing, okay, the people want some darker lore. They love the Sith stuff. Like we've been talking about KOTOR all the time. Like our Revan article on the site is still doing crazy numbers. That character hasn't appeared in 15 years. Like
Yeah.
people want this, and if they're actually going to lean into the dark side lore a bit more of it, especially with now let's go crazy with Rey's Jedi movie coming up, there's probably going to be dark side users again, and like let's bring back the Sith. Let's bring back like this kind of thing. You know, the sequel trilogy just had Palpatine and the Sith Eternal, but they didn't quite hit that level of like.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta do
dark
something.
ancient
They gotta do
Sith,
something
you know?
original. They gotta do something original. They gotta do something a better big bad. Like they gotta do like something that's at scale. I think like,
Yeah.
you can't just be more Empire. Like that's what made the Old Republic so rich. I think is just because like it's Jedi versus Sith in huge numbers, and the Sith have
Yep.
a military and ships and bombard planets, and I mean there's lots of like really rich stories in there. But the
Yeah.
like the scale of the conflict makes it feel large, and the sequel trilogy didn't feel like that, right? It didn't feel large. The scale didn't feel large to me.
Galactic,
Yeah,
No, I totally get that. Like, and I think
Right.
that we also forget that like Anakin Skywalker was a wartime general. Like,
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot to play with that with Vader's memories, not only of the Jedi, not only of Padme, which I'm sure we're getting flashback chapters of Padme. Of course, love that storyline, but like you gotta have it. But if we get to a point where Vader can learn a little bit about the ancient Sith and say, like, I know how to lead troops. I'm not just the boogeyman with the lightsaber. I know about tactics. I know about like
That's a good point.
how to send troops into battle as the ancient Sith did. Now I can master that, be that master of evil. I think there's a lot of possibilities with this. Again, if I had to put money on it, I think this is announced at the Celebration panel. I think this is the big reveal or one of the big reveals. Adam Christopher is on that panel, and he has not had a book come out since Shadow of the Sith like 2 or 3 years ago. There's zero reason for them
I
to
wish we
fly a
could-
guy to Japan that doesn't have a book coming out.
We should find. I know that's a good point. We should find that old roundtable and about that book because I bet we speculated about like what else Adam Christopher can do. I feel like I remember
Oh,
talking
sure.
about that, about what else
We
we would like
totally
Christopher
did.
to do. I wonder if we talked about this. If any of our listeners are willing to go back and listen to that,
Yeah, the old Living Force days.
Yeah.
like the
They're
last
still
like, listen to the last like 20 minutes of that episode or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the last or the first like footsteps of Exegol and the First Order would be perfect because that wasn't made overnight,
Yeah.
right? So like,
Right.
where did it begin? Did they like
What's the origin of
yeah, it's
Exegol?
like-
That'd be cool.
Vader's just like, we're not going to be around here forever, even though we say we're going to be around here forever. We need a backup plan because, like you said, Eric, he knows about tactics. He was a wartime general, so he needs to have backup plan. Even though this may not be a backup plan, could have been the ultimate plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, somewhere where the beginning of the First Order would be fantastic to know about because we didn't know anything about it between episode 6 and 7. So.
Yeah. Well, and we know Vader in the comics has gone to Exegol already once, and then he like came back. It was like a really weird. One of the weird things in those comics is that he knows it exists. And actually, if you picked up the recent reference book, everybody, the complete locations, I put a review of it on the site a couple weeks ago. There's a big part about that, like pyramid structure on Exegol, and there are thousands of like basically bunk bed things for Sith cultists in it. It's like it is so much bigger than they show in the movie canonically of how many people are in there. So there's a lot you can explore there, and I think if I'm Adam Christopher, like we know that people like to go back to what they've written. Justine Ireland is gonna put Vernestra in her book. Like Daniel Jose Older loves the kids of the High Republic. Timothy Zahn is gonna have Thrawn. Like Adam Christopher, I think loves his Sith lore, and if he can write this book about Vader and do whatever evil stuff he wants, I think that's where we're headed.
I just had a flashback of the Heaven's Gate cult when you said bunk beds on Exegol, because they all the cultists were in bunk beds with Nikes on and purple, like they look like Exegol cultists.
They did.
That's pretty dark, Wes.
Really dark.
It freaked me out. It freaked me out as a kid. So yeah,
you're the master of evil.
I'll never forget it.
That's what it is. Although I will say, based on this, it comes out in November as well. So this will be like a winter, like post-Halloween spooky book as well. So
good choice. Good choice.
How do you think Sith cultists figure out who gets the top bunk?
Oh, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. I was gonna do the same thing. Yeah, no, obviously.
Rock, paper, scissors.
It's canonical.
It's all fair. It's all fair. And Sith cultists.
That was in a Legends book somewhere, right? I'm sure that was like a reference guide.
That would not surprise me. It's called something dumb like
Cowboy Ninja Bear.
Yeah, it's like Vintian Leaf lightsaber or something.
Leaf.
Anyway, that's as dumb as we'll get tonight, but enjoy that. We'll see if that comes out on the publishing panel. Again, check out the website for the full publishing panel details. We'll be covering that as it happens. And before we go any further, we want to take a quick second to let you know that this episode is brought to you by the United, the official Youtini community. By joining the United, you'll not only receive ad-free shows and exclusive merch drops, you'll also get unlimited access to our Discord full of enthusiastic Star Wars fans that want nothing more than to welcome you. Filled with daily conversations, weekly polls, and monthly events, and even celebration planning, which has been going on lately, the United is powered by a community of intentional positivity, and that makes it the best place for you to celebrate your fandom and engage with fans who love everything you do the way that you do. By heading to youtini.com/community, you can sign up for a whole year of the United and save 15% when you use code YOUTINISHOW. That's one word, code YOUTINISHOW, for 15% off your first year of the United. So head on over now, get signed up, check out our amazing events, connect with your favorite podcast hosts, and figure out what is happening in Japan in just a couple weeks. Thank you again to everyone in our community for their incredible support. And now, back to the show. Now, we might be excited for the Lucasfilm Publishing panel at Celebration, but we may be even more psyched for the gaming panel that will have Respawn and BitReactor revealing the brand new Star Wars strategy game. Although that apparently started to happen this week, because a leak of images from a 2023 BitReactor artist portfolio made the rounds this week, showing a game that literally looks like Star Wars XCOM, featuring Mandalorians, droids, and even a mention of Bo-Katan. So, fellas, you are both pretty seasoned gamers, especially in the RTS, where I am not. What was your initial reaction to this first look?
It looks good. I mean, the visuals look interesting. I checked out all these images. Wes, I'm not sure if you have seen the behind the scenes footage a little bit. My gut reaction though was it looks like Hunters. Like a little
like
bit.
It does look a little bit like Hunters.
The lighting choices, like that sort of thing, looks kind of like Hunters. And I don't really know what that's gonna be like. Like what kind of strategy game? Because I'm confused now. Because I thought this was like a RTS type of game, is what I thought it was. But the screenshots don't really look like that. The screenshots kind of look like what's the phone game? Galaxy of Heroes a little bit, where you like have your characters, they can get behind cover. It kind of looked like that. So I'll be honest, I don't have any idea what this game is anymore.
Yeah,
this is coming out on PC or is it mobile?
Yes.
PC.
No, it's PC and console. This is a AAA game. These are also artist renderings from 2 years ago. So for what that's worth, as far as the Hunters thing, hopefully I think these are like preliminary beats. But yeah, it is. They're saying AAA level, like all the consoles, all the PC high end whatevers. That's what it's all coming to.
Yeah, the graphics look good though. It looks really clean. It is.
Right,
I'm very interested to see what it's going to be like. Because it looks interesting. It does look interesting.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the mechanics make me think of like Age of Empires. Like, did you ever? Well, not Age of Empires. Is it Age of Empires?
I don't know, because
What am I
to
thinking
me,
of?
I'm getting straight up XCOM from this. Like, this is like when you're
XCOM.
like getting like squad-based tactical stuff, like point and like there's showing like probability of hits and stuff. Like, it's a lot of like math and figuring that kind of stuff out. So
Yeah.
as opposed to like big army RTS, 'cause I think you're right, Corey. We thought it
Yeah.
was going to be like that.
I thought it was
Galaxy,
RTS.
Yeah, the Star Wars Galaxy
Empire
is
at War.
almost Empire at War. There it is.
Mhm.
All those big old 90s games confuse me. Empire at War, where you're like commanding fleets and stuff, and I guess it is more like, okay, you're gonna select a squad, or like support members. Like one of the screenshots shows that you can support Bo-Katan, but also Paz Vizsla is on there. There's like individual clone troopers you can fire at, and I guess it's kind of like, it seems very mission based. Achieve your mission, move on in your campaign kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it does. So it's gonna be interesting to see what this looks like for sure.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
I can't wait
about
to suck
this.
at it. Really, is what it is. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
so bad. Like I'm not good at these kind of games, but I'm excited that it exists. You know what I mean?
And it still feels weird that this is like happening and like in the shadow of like Hunters getting like canceled really suddenly.
Right.
It makes me a little nervous for this type of thing. Like this has never been done in Star Wars before, as far as I know. Like I don't know.
It feels
if
like
they have a
yeah, it
they have
feels
a $50,000 booth at Star Wars Celebration Japan, I'm gonna be real worried, guys.
Nope. They're like gonna be like, they're gonna do just the panel. They're gonna show a preview teaser trailer and then walk away. Nothing else. They're gonna show you nothing else.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of trial and error is going on, but I mean, what isn't? To be honest with you,
Right.
It like the Hunters did not work out. This is kind of I think is kind of like a sister story, if you want, of what Hunters would have been. But the XCOM thing is I guess giving you both worlds of whether it can be sort of like a shooter, but more along the lines of like strategy game, right? So maybe like a Diablo, but I say like it's like StarCraft or Age of Empires, like you were saying, but just more zoomed in, right? So you're just like you said, it's more detailed on a squadron more than you're doing for an entire battalion.
It doesn't look RTS. Like these screenshots do not look like RTS. These look like XCOM. Like with like,
right.
You have it's true turn based. Final Fantasy, another good example. Where you have you have to like choose your weapon. Like you choose the attack you're gonna do. It's like Pokemon. It's kind of like Pokemon too. That's another good example. Yeah. It looks like that. But I thought this was an RTS game when they advertised it. I really thought it was. So. We've not seen any confirmation of any of this. I wonder if this is even real at all. I wonder if this is at all related to this, actually.
Yeah, and I wonder, those could be multiple different games, right? Because like there's so much stuff cooking behind the scenes at all different times. But I think this is like, we know that at least from the Bit Reactor is like the people that are making it, and that seems to be this guy. So maybe that RTS is something different. Maybe there's also multiple modes, because the games like these, like AAA style games, they keep saying AAA. That's like big. There's a lot of resources in this. Like Hunters was an experiment. This is a bet, right? This is many years of development. And one of the screenshots also showed what looked like either concept art or a loading screen that said Kafrene, like the Kafrene station, like the Rings of Kafrene from Rogue One. So I'm like, well, if we have Rogue One Kafrene and we also have Mandalorians fighting against clone troopers, these are all very different eras. So is this like going to be one of those things where it's multiple eras of Star Wars, multiple planets, multiple different armies, like, are you going to be doing like vast galactic campaigns, like on different levels? Do you sometimes control a squad versus an army? Like, I think there's a lot of possibility for it. And the fact that they're going this mathematical already, I guess I should say, with it, like the fact that there are like percentages of hits and picking out your weapons and like supporting different units. Like this is definitely not your Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Battlefront, casual gamer game.
No, it's not. It's like kind of like KOTOR in a way, except you're like locked in. It's a true like turn-based RPG like D&D or the Star Wars, RPG or something like that. So I'm gonna play the shit out of it.
Yeah, to be clear,
I'm gonna play it for sure.
It'd
be fun.
It has the vibe of like, oh, I'm gonna start playing at 6 p.m. and then you're like, oh, this is fun. The sun's coming up. Like I feel like it's gonna be like one of those where it's one more turn, one more like with Civ, right? That's they always say, oh, just one more turn, and you find that the entire night's gone. So
yeah, right.
So hopefully we'll get that. Again, there's a panel celebration. They'll be on that panel, I'm sure, revealing this officially, at least with a title, if not with some screenshots, maybe like a pre-alpha teaser. But Respawn will also be on that panel, and I think, I don't know. I know that they don't want to step on toes. I don't know why Respawn is there if they're not going to do a Jedi tease as well.
Yeah.
You know? Like, nothing's been leaked. Like, this is the leak for gaming. But do you guys think that if we've seen this already, we know this is basically confirmed, do you also double up and do Jedi hero, Jedi whatever, or do you just
seems
keep
like
this?
It seems like a terrible marketing strategy, but like they're bad at marketing, so like I don't know. Why else would Respawn be there? I mean, they could do that like that BS thing that they do where they're like, we're just here to celebrate the success of the Jedi Survivor series.
We're
and
another
just
company with Star Wars.
right.
Yay. Yeah.
we're all thankful for the players, you know, and they get asked generic questions like, what was it like to make a Star Wars game? And we all have to sit there and listen to it while we're anxiously waiting on a trailer to happen. That's like, it could just be that. But that's a lot of effort to fly people out just for that. But I mean, we don't know who it is at the Respawn panel yet. I mean, I wonder if do they have a Japan office, maybe? Like, do they just get some of those guys maybe to come? I don't know.
Just
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
Probably
it's
not.
going to be.
Probably not, but I don't know. We could walk out with 2 game trailers. We could walk out with 1 game title. We could walk out with the friends we met along the way. You know, I think we'll find out.
this XCOM game, like the development cycle of it would be old enough to be like in the mistakes era of Star Wars storytelling.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
So they could be going ahead and launching it because it's sunk cost fallacy, but like don't really actually expect it to do that well. And Respawn is gonna do well. So could do that, I guess, but that's really pessimistic. I hope that's not true.
No, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be a little better than that. But I don't know.
How have we not seen anything about this game though? That is insane, honestly.
Yeah, they're getting better at it. They're getting better at keeping a lid on things, I think, But
so if it's leaked in 2023, it is now 2025. It takes roughly 4 or 5 years maybe for a AAA game. I mean, for like a unknown AAA game, right? For other AAA games,
from start to finish, right?
Yeah, it takes them a year, and they, but it should I would think a reveal, not even a reveal, maybe just an image. Like Cameron Monaghan comes out and he was like holding a poster board with like the image or something.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. From the Jedi Fallen Order
printed out
reveal,
tweet.
Yeah.
On a piece of paper.
Print out tweet. It's coming. Like they've all come out within a year of reveal. I think usually with Star Wars, like Fallen Order, Survivor, they're pretty good about being like, hey, this is it, and then by the next celebration for sure. If not,
seems like a good time frame.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling good about it.
I hope it looks better. I will say that.
Yes.
I will say that. I do hope it looks better. The the leaks of the 4 images that leaked, the only one that looks really cool is the loading screen. Like I really hope it doesn't look like Hunters, honestly. Like
we are too. Let's make sure that those years were put to good use. Make sure that the animators got their time off. They didn't kill themselves with crunch, but also did some work on the engine. Let's be all make sure we got a good feeling about that.
Agreed.
But all right, listen, we have talked enough tonight now about things that might be coming out. So believe it or not, we're gonna take a quick second to shift our focus to guaranteed things we can get our hands on right now or next month. Because every year, Disney releases a brand new merch collection for May the 4th, and this year, of course, is no different. New weekly drops have been announced from Disney starting on April 4th, featuring a new May the 4th line, a Hoth collection, and more. And we also got a sneak peek of some of the exclusive Celebration merch, including a Black Series figure of the Ronin and his hat droid from Visions. Guys, very simply, is Star Wars actually cooking with their merch right now? Because this seems to fall right in line with them upping their publicity as well. Like, they have a lot of lines that seem to be ready to go.
I mean, yeah, I think that Japanese artwork is like such an easy slam dunk with Star Wars. Like there's a lot of crossover samurai stuff over the years, from figures to costuming. Like it's been a big part of Star Wars for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly too, I'm pretty sure Star Wars was received like like it was massive in Japan when it first came out too. I remember I've seen that in like behind the scenes
that
stuff.
sounds about right. Yeah.
So like that makes sense to me that they would go all in with this type of merch for Celebration. And yeah, I'm down for sure. It looks fantastic with like all the artwork we've seen, from the badges to like, I can't wait to see it. I'm honestly expecting just to be like 10 out of 10. Like I'll share so many images with you guys.
Oh, you got it, man. Like it's so cohesive. Like we started covering the badge art way back when it happened. And I don't even remember like getting waves of different badge art and then getting the posters and the art collection. And now like some of the exclusive stuff you can get at Celebration is truly gorgeous. Again, we have a write-up on the site of some of the main stuff, but I really liked, obviously the Ronin Black Series figure is great. That's only at Celebration. It's a Japanese anime like Star Wars character. What a great idea. But then they had this picture of this Darth Vader statue. It's like an all-white statue of Vader with like the flowers going down it, like the classic the pink flowers. And it's like
cherry blossoms. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
cherry blossoms. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And it's like on his cape as well. And it's one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. And I'm like, this makes so much sense for people like walking around the Celebration floor. You're having a great day. You've been looking at the cherry blossom gorgeous nature of Japan. And you're like, I want this serene Darth Vader figure. And it's going to be sold right on the show floor. Like, I don't know. Again, it just feels like they're trying. And maybe we sound like a bad relationship where our bar has just gotten lower. We're like, they're just trying so much, Like, look at
I mean,
thing,
it looks really sick. Yeah, I mean, in the past, I've never been blown away with Celebration exclusives, to be honest. Like I've been to 2 now, and I'm not a huge collector anyway, but like both times that I've been, people were like ready to kill each other to get in there, like get into the store. And both times that I've been in, I've literally both times I went into the store, I walked in and walked out empty-handed. I don't think I bought anything in the store either time that I went. I think later on I swung by one of the last days and bought like a t-shirt or something like that. But like, people are obsessed with the merch and stuff, but it's not been amazing stuff in my opinion. I'm much more interested in like the Sideshow Collectibles booth and like the people that are on the floor that sell really cool stuff than I am the Celebration exclusives. But it looks like they're really cooking with this stuff, so I don't know. I might be changing my tune this year for sure.
This looks like a little bit more affordable than the Sideshow Collectibles stuff too. So like,
that's true.
The Sideshow Collectibles is amazing for sure.
It is.
But like you were talking about, the Ronin figure for the Black Series is super cool.
Yeah.
It's super
and
cool.
Hat Droid, of course. Also, I hate to tell you this, Wes. If you want to look in our show Slack, I just DM'd you a link. You might want to put on the screen because there's also Hot Toys. I'm afraid to tell you. I know you're not talking about like how it helps, but I mean, compared to the other Hot Toy stuff, this looks like it's actually very intentional because they put out a couple things like Galen Erso's getting an exclusive figure. But there's also going to be a 1/6 scale Stormtrooper, you guessed it, with cherry blossoms. It is going to be a cherry blossom Stormtrooper with like a Jedi, with like a kimono looking robe on him, that has like an exclusive Star Wars Japan background on it as well. I don't see the price on it, unfortunately, but it is, again, I think it is something that is going to be so interesting for people that are there, that are going to be able to see the Japanese culture influencing the actual Celebration floor. I don't know. It's nice. And it makes me think, when we go back to Orlando or Anaheim, look at this thing. Look how gorgeous this thing is. It's like unlike anything they've ever made before. And it's really
click on that bottom left picture, Wes. I want to see all the different angles in this thing. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Wait, is this cherry blossoms or is it blood?
Yeah.
It's cherry blossoms.
Wait, there we go. It says Stormtrooper cherry blossom version. It straight up looks like blood on this blurry screen. In fact, if that was on the shelf, I would be 100%. This was like a gory Stormtrooper on the shelf, actually. Except he's in a night robe. That's the part that throws it off.
Looks like a kimono or something.
Yeah, he's in a kimono.
With more cherry blossoms in the back of the robe. Yeah, like
the attention to detail for this is super cool. Like to put this kind of amount of effort into just a action figurine, whatever you want to call it. It's a great display piece for sure. Or somebody just takes it off your desk and starts playing with it, then that's also fun too.
Exactly. So keep an eye out. It's going to Celebration. This is a Japan-only exclusive. The Vader statue is going to be... Some of them are like first look at Celebration and they go online later. So if you're not going, stay tuned or contact one of your friends that's going and tell them to put it in their suitcase. Then you can get it back. But luckily, if you're not, as I said, Disney is also doing their May the 4th drops, which are starting April 4th. Every single week, they're going to be dropping a new collection at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Disney Store. They've done this a bunch over the years. This is your more traditional merch, right? It says like May the 4th day, 2025. And then they'll have like a Hoth lounge fly. There's droid stuff. So again, it's just a great time of the year if you're a Star Wars merch collector, because you probably just got your tax refund and you've been sitting around waiting, and you get to get some cool merch. So
flushed with cash.
Flush with cash. So I'm thinking that like this all just feels synergized for the first time in such a long time.
They do.
Andor's coming up, guys. There's a merch line. Celebrations around the corner. Like Star Wars, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I really can't wait to see it all. The worst part I think about merch at Celebration is that there's so much stuff that is so good that the bar is like through the roof. Like while you're at the events, you're like, oh, I can't get that. That's not as good as this other thing I saw over here or whatever. There's just like so much incredible stuff. Or you can do like Wes does and just spend like $100 on a mystery box and get a whole bunch of random crap
box,
I think it was $150, and we were very disappointed. And every time we go back, we get another one, and I didn't get one this past time, and I was called a traitor for not getting one. I was like, I know it's going to be in there. And they're like, yeah, we also know it's going to be in there, but it's like tradition. And I was like, no, I don't want to buy tradition a bunch of crap that I'm not going to use.
That's hilarious.
Well, speaking of Celebration, though, Corey, you had to get your panels in. The panel lottery went up. And,
that's right.
If y'all missed a couple shows ago, Corey said how much he just loves how smooth the system is and how
it's my favorite thing about Star Wars Celebration, honestly.
How'd it go?
It was disastrous. I mean, to say the least. Like, there's a bunch of us at Youtini going. I think there's like 6 or 7 us, or actually there's 9 people in this group now. I think 8 or 9 people are going. From Youtini team. If you are going to Celebration, come say hi if you happen to see us around. Please do. It's always a lot of fun. If somebody comes up to me on the other side of the world and says, "Hey, let's take a picture of Youtini," I'm gonna freak out. That's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely.
That happened a bunch of times at in Anaheim, and if it happened on the other side of the world, that'd be crazy. But anyway, yeah, it was a mess. We all like. You have to do the thing where you like pull up multiple devices because one of them gets in and none of the others do. And this year they did it a little differently because you had to like get in a queue to basically be led into an online store. And like once you got into the online store, there was like all the panels and there's like Mandalorian, Andor, Visions, and Ahsoka. And you could only choose, I think, between Ahsoka and Visions for Saturday. So you could choose Mando. You could choose one of the two options.
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, Ahsoka and Andor on Saturday. Yep. Yeah, choose one of those, and then you can get one for the last day. And there's the full main stage, like the big one that you see on the streams and stuff. And then there's multiple streaming stages as well. And as soon as I got in, Mando was sold out in the main stage.
No
and we were there.
Way.
It was. We were still sold out immediately. We were in there immediately. And like didn't get that one, but I did get Andor at the main stage, and I got Mando and Visions at the side stages. So if I got to choose, honestly, Andor is one I wanted because I think they're going to let us. I hope they do that crap where they let us see a couple episodes early.
Yeah.
Also, all the hot people are going to be on stage in that one. It's like the most attractive
exactly.
cast in history of Star Wars.
That's the one I'm most excited about, honestly. So I'm really glad I got that one. However, the other massive downside that they did this year that's new is you're not like in a party together. So even though I purchased the tickets with my spouse. We had completely separate queues. So Caitlin and I do not have a single panel together. Not a single one. Like all 3 of them are like not in the same place. So I'll be in one place, Caitlin will be a different place because we couldn't sync it up at all. And so fortunately, like there's enough people on Youtini that all got different combinations of the panels that like we will all be with somebody like throughout the whole event. But that kind of sucks.
Do you have your panel buddy?
I know exactly. That really sucks in my opinion. I would go back to the old way we did it, where it's completely random who gets what. If you can make sure you have your party with you, because that's gonna break up families and like
Yeah.
kids and
Yeah, that's
stuff.
true.
Like that sucks, man. So there's a lot of complaining about that online. But I did like that we got to choose this year. I will say, I felt like I had some sense of authority and control by being able to at least choose which panels I wanted. I could check
Yeah.
out and then know, it wasn't like random. That was nice, but it was messy. It's always really messy. I mean, there's just not a great way to do this.
Was
Like, I don't
there
think. No,
was there priority access for like VIP members, or were you a VIP
VIPs are
member?
guaranteed access to every panel,
Of course.
Yeah.
but they didn't have to go through the reserve system at all. But
Okay.
I don't know how it decided who got in. Like,
Yeah, the
before
Mando
anybody
main
else.
stage.
I
If
mean,
is it all VIPs, like, or is it just like a select few of the reserve seats got like the very last of the? Because I'm sure the VIPs are like, yes, I mean, everybody needs to get the Mando main stage because
but there's not that many VIP tickets. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
there's only
They have
like,
like the main.
I think there's eight. I think there's 800.
Yeah.
I think there's like 800 tickets or something like
Yeah.
that.
how much
for
can the main
VIP.
stage
Yeah.
hold then? Does it tell you?
I don't know.
Probably not.
More than 800.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, those stages are pretty massive. Like they can all hold like 10,000 people. I think, right? 5,000, 10,000. I don't know.
Probably
Bigger
five.
numbers.
Yeah.
Probably 5.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but
That's good though.
I mean,
honestly.
I'm excited. Caitlin's excited. We've come to terms with the fact that like we're gonna have buddies. It makes it better when we're going with the big group. It makes it a lot better that we're gonna have people with us and stuff. I did choose Andor over Ahsoka. I don't know if anybody on our team chose Ahsoka over Andor. Actually, I have to look.
No. Well, also
but,
Ahsoka seems it's like pitched as a looking back at season 1. Like I'm sure they'll have
It
some, but like
is.
the panel is focused on season 1, whereas Andor is focused on season 2, which is premiering. Again, even
Yeah.
if they don't show it at that panel, there will be like that's the project.
Yeah.
It's premiering
Yeah.
in 2 days if you don't see it at
For sure.
Celebration, So
Yeah, for sure.
the hype will
for
be through
sure.
the roof.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's finally set in that it's real now. Like that we're actually going.
Awesome.
Caitlin and I really sat down with. We booked a travel agent this year, and we sat down and went through our whole trip to Japan. We're doing 2 weeks, so we're doing several days before the event. A bunch of time in Tokyo before the event, then going to Celebration.
That's a good idea.
And then we're doing a couple days like outside of Tokyo, like in Kyoto and Takayama, I think. Like some trains around Japan. So it's gonna be a really fun trip.
Wow.
We're really excited for it. We've never booked a trip like this with the travel agent before, so like I'm really stoked that we did this because they literally thought about everything. There's instructions, like every step of the itinerary is already planned out of like, this is
God,
what train
so
station
good.
you go to. When you get on this train
Yeah.
station, look for these words on the sign and go to that train station. So that takes a lot of the
Wow.
pressure off of being in a non-English speaking country, which has been great. So I'm really jacked. I'm excited just to go to Japan. I'm excited for Star Wars Celebration. I'm like really excited now. I think this is going to be a really cool and unique experience. I would not be surprised if it's not in Tokyo again for like another decade or something like that.
Right.
So
yeah, this seems like again changing of the guard. Like there's not a big LA movie they got to premiere to get the stars out. Like it's really getting the time here. Like doing London and Tokyo back to back, I think was definitely intentional for them to be like, we are an international company. We want all the fans to see what they can before they probably do some more like, again, U.S. centric stuff for a while.
Yeah, there's already rumors flying about that too, about where it's going to be, and we were talking about that on the team earlier this week. That there's some thought that it actually might go back to Anaheim instead of Orlando. So
I love California.
yeah.
I love
mean,
Weather's nice.
I'm down.
Weather's
Yes, that's
nice.
right. I'm down for honestly anything. I'm excited for it to be in the U.S. again. I am also sort of in the camp that I kind of like that it goes international too. I mean, like
Yeah.
there are
the
people
world.
there are people that are going to get to go to this event in Tokyo that like will never be able to go to anywhere else in the world again. So like
Yep.
if it's there and like one family with some kids like can scrape together their money to go to this thing and like that like warms my heart, and that's what Star Wars is all about. So
Yeah.
I'm down for it to be all over the world. It sucks for us that are in the U.S. because you have to spend a ton of money to go over there, and that's out of reach for a lot of people. And but I'm down for it to be in other parts. Somebody in Slack, I think if I've Oz joked they need to do it in like somewhere crazy like South Africa or something like that. I'm like, Australia. I'm like, I'm down, man. I'm down. Let's go. Let's freaking go all over the world. There are Star Wars fans everywhere. So, we'll see where it goes next. They always announce it the last day of Celebration, so that's going to be fun to find out.
Absolutely.
I think Brazil would be a great location too. That would be fantastic
Brazil?
to go see.
Yeah.
Brazil would be fine.
So many amazing cities all over the planet, and like you said, Star Wars fans are literally everywhere. Like just Star Wars fans in every continent, in every language, and they just gotta put together a good convention and tell the stars, "Hey, we'll pay for your airfare." So that's
right.
kind of the whole deal. Oh, but speaking of California, we're gonna end tonight by saying welcome to a dear friend that has finally come to see us. Guys, it's Luke Skywalker. Unfortunately,
He's here.
He's not here on the show.
I know him.
But
I know him.
I know him.
He is in Disneyland with R2-D2 to celebrate the Season of the Force event that just began over this weekend. In addition to Luke's appearance over there in California, there's also a new stunning projection show in Galaxy's Edge that has been getting some rave reviews. But for now, I just want to focus on the appearance of Luke. Because, fellas, I don't know if you saw it, but the park was packed for his first appearance. It's the busiest I've personally ever seen it for a new character reveal. And I gotta say, just after all these years, after all these projects, what is it about Luke Skywalker? Why is he still the main draw?
I don't.
He started it all.
He did start it all, and I'm also just like, we talked, was that last week or the week before? I can't remember. It was a couple weeks back. We were like, is what is happening to Disney? Is it canon now? Is it not canon? Are we just like,
yes.
Right.
Are we just like all over the place? Because like, if this doesn't mean that like Star Wars is all over the place, like Star Wars World at Disneyland is all over the place, Galaxy's Edge, like, I don't know what else they could do to make it. I mean, I guess Anakin and Padme can show up, but like, also part of me, the other part of me is like, what the hell? We've never had R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker in Galaxy's Edge. That seems shocking to me. So like, this seems
R2-D2 That's weird.
That seems nuts.
Canonically, because again, God, the choice was made by people high up that Batu, the park, is in canon in Star Wars at a certain time. So when you go to Galaxy's Edge and Disney World, Disneyland, you are there at a point in canon in Star Wars, right? And that is between episodes 8 and 9. Now, I don't know if you remember episode 8. Luke's dead. All right? There's no Luke Skywalker. He's dead.
Whoa, bro. Spoilers, dude.
He done disappeared into mist. Luke's dead. All right?
All right. Okay.
So,
go on.
that's why he's not been there. But this week, they decided, you know what would be cool? If we just brought Luke in. So Luke is there in his Return of the Jedi black outfit, the coolest Luke outfit. With R2, he's young. He's got like the young Luke wig and everything. And they're just walking around and like we've been saying, we were like, Galaxy's Edge should just be Star Wars land. With the Mara Jade lightsaber, it almost instantly sold out. People loved it. Clearly people want that. And the second he turned a corner, in Disney, like characters will come out of like kind of like secret areas, but if you know they're coming, people start to gather. Luke turned a corner and you can see cell phone videos, people pan. It is just full of people waiting to see this guy in R2 to take pictures, to interact, like on day one. Like this is gonna go on for the entire event. It's a limited time event, and people are stoked about it. Like
I bet this kid felt like a rock star. That actor.
Oh God!
Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the guy that got to do this. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
I'm watching some of the videos on Instagram now too. It's honestly like nuts. I mean, this does sort of put it into perspective about how maybe terrible of an idea that it actually was to do this whole canon Batu thing, because it is like it is really like pigeonholed in there, isn't it? Like that, like there's not a lot of story about Batu. We have a couple books and some comic references and stuff. Like it's not a particularly rich line of Star Wars lore, and like it really seems like they're like kind of wasting the IP to not put in like loved characters.
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah, it should be everybody.
I feel like it was a short-term plan. It was a great short-term plan.
Yeah.
All right, for that a specific amount of time
and
to
there
get
were
a lot of people to
books.
flood the parks to be like, wow, this is it. I am
whole
in
books.
it.
Yeah.
But
I know.
You know, there wasn't. I don't know if there was a lot more long-term planning, but and I think now they're kind of going back into the master plans. Or like maybe we can put a couple people in here, a couple people there, a couple droids, some more merch we can sell. You know, I think they're gonna obviously they're gonna expand it, but is Batu gonna live forever, or are they gonna just change it into something else? Right?
Oh yeah,
I was about to ask that. I was like, how can they realistically pivot this and not just feel like they're just undoing all their hard work? Like how can they do that? Like, do they make Batu like, I don't know, do they go back and write books like this Master of Evil and like make Batu like a major place in the book or something? Maybe, I guess you could do that, but like that feels almost worse than just like just leave it the way it is and just let all these characters come in. You know what I mean? Like
they blow it up and they start from scratch and they just.
That's what they did with the hotel. Yeah. They burned down the hotel and just redid that.
Not
whole
in a
thing.
book though, like a story in a book. They just completely wipe Batu off the face of the earth, and then it turns into something else.
No,
the face of the earth, like out of the galaxy. I'm so sorry.
More people walk through Disney World in a 3-day weekend than have ever heard of the planet Batu in a book.
That's correct. I know. That's correct.
So, like, I think that this problem that we're like, what are they going to do? I don't think they care. I think they're like, cool, it's going to be Star Wars Land
They
now.
shouldn't care.
Yeah,
I don't think they should at all. I think they
like,
leave it as Batu. Yeah. They leave everything named the way it is, and they just make Star Wars characters walking around. That's what they need to freaking do.
Everyone's been to Batu. That's great. And you can ask them questions, and they'll tell you, like, the amount of people that are going to go up to them and ask them, like, there are characters that are dressed as like Hera and Sabine there sometimes for special events. And if you go up and ask them questions, I hate to break the magic, they don't know. Okay? Like, they're not really trained in the Star Wars art. That's fine. They're just there to look cool and have fun, take pictures. They're going to put Luke there. I think we're going to get Vader here now within 2 years. I think we're going to get like Leia. I think Han, like, I think
they should literally just do every. They should just do everybody. Frankly, like nobody cares. Like the number of people that walk through Disney, like of the pie chart. Like if you surveyed people on the way out of like that area of the park, you surveyed them, walked up to them. The number of people that could tell you if the place was called Batu is not the majority of the pie chart. No. I guarantee you. Most parents would call it Star Wars Land. They'd call it the Star Wars Place.
The Star Wars Place. Yes.
Galaxy's Edge, you might
that's
even
100% parents' thing to say.
That's fine.
Yes, Galaxy's Edge, people would say that. Like, nobody would be able to say it's... I mean, a lot of people would say it's Batu, but you know what I'm saying? Like, most people, most parents... like
they wouldn't say it's canonically between episodes 8 and 9. I'll tell you that.
Nobody says that on the pie chart, Eric.
Well, the more characters you get in,
4 people out of survey 20,000 said that. Okay.
The more characters that you get in, the more interaction like all these kids can have with them, right? Because there's only like a handful of characters that they can all go talk to, and when they show up, they're just like surrounded by people. You can't get in there and interact with them. So the more you have in there, I mean, you don't want to saturate it, but I mean. Like I said, the more you hit in there, the more interaction you can have. Like with Leia, you could have more little girls like dressing up as Leia and going there, not just Rey.
Yeah. Also, dude, I hugged Chewie about you one time. Guess what? It's great. It's really great.
Super tall.
Really super tall. Really nice. Like, it's just such a good moment. And again, this makes me ask the question that I'm so scared of asking now. We're seeing a lot of good business ideas from Star Wars, and I don't trust it. I'm like, the merch is good. It's in line with stuff. They're promoting correctly. They're making good decisions that are based on business and fun.
I mean, the timeline right now of all the decisions that Bob Iger and his team could have made right after he got put back in place, we're now in that timeline.
That's true. They're coming to fruition. That's a great point. That's a
great
point.
So, like, just from the business side of things, like everybody kind of said that Chapek was sort of running the IP into the ground. So, like, I mean, the guy is smart. I've read his book. I mean, he's really brilliant. He's kind of a scummy guy, unfortunately, as all very rich capitalists are.
Yep, you gotta be.
But like, he's a good businessman, and maybe he gets it. So I don't know. I don't know what the heck we're gonna do when he does inevitably retire. I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I think it'll be a hot minute, but it's an exciting way to start. If you're at Disneyland, go check out Season of the Force. Our friends Steven and Sally actually on the team just went there and they had a great time. We saw some videos of the projection show, and it's really cool. It's like takes you through the story of the Skywalkers projected onto the mountains of Batu, but it's like a storyteller is actively telling it to you around the campfire, and like they're really caring about it a lot and doing some fun stuff, and really seem to be fan forward. So again, it's an exciting time. Go say hi to Luke if you haven't. Go check out the pictures if you can't make it over, and hopefully the success of the Mara Jade lightsaber, the success of this, the success of the Prince Shizor action figures that are being sold, which I've heard is a real thing as well.
What?
Maybe it's all meaning that we're going to get this. We're going to get a Vader book that's going to recanonize Bane, and we're really...
Oh.
It's all coming up. It's all coming up rainbows, everybody. So I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
Me too. We'll have to do some last minute like crazy speculation about Celebration, like maybe like the week before or something like that. Once we have like all the information and start really speculating about it. I still think part of me still thinks that there's a chance that they could kind of blow us away actually at Celebration. Sometimes they pull those out of their hat. So
it could be a sleeper.
It could be a sleeper for sure. So we'll see what happens to Celebration. But I don't know.
It's an exciting thing to think about. Again, we only got a couple more weeks. We will be, that's actually a good time to mention, we're going to be coming at you live as always next 2 Mondays on the 7th and the 14th, I believe is the plan. Then we have Celebration Weekend. That Monday, we probably won't come to you live because at least I'll be traveling that day. Corey will be out that day. Wes, it's Easter Monday. I don't know what you're doing. But we might have to delay the show a bit, but we'll keep you posted on all that stuff. Obviously, all of our stuff on the site will be all up to date, but it's going to be a little bit of a weird couple weeks there. But, man, only 2 more shows until Celebration Weekend happens, everybody. So get pumped. It is the best time of year to be a Star Wars fan, and we will be bringing you every piece of news along the way, but not tonight. Because that's all we got. That is going to do it for this week's episode of the Youtini Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week to bring you all the news that's going on in Star Wars. Again, all in one place through a lens of intentional positivity. Until then, be good to each other. Enjoy the galaxy far, far away. We'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.